throughout his coaching career. On 3 different occasions, this man has blew a 3-1 lead in the NBA playoffs.
Now tuned into the greatest.
The Run with Manny Wilson podcast. The Run with Manny Wilson podcast. The best sports podcast there is.
Yes, sir. Welcome back to The Run with me, Manny Wilson, the best sports podcast there is, all the way from Detroit to Chicago to your speakers and headphones. Hey, man, we got some great topics for you today. I'm back from vacation. I'm feeling so great. Because Lord knows I missed the mic. As great as the break was, I definitely missed the mic. But hey, side note before we get started, Croatia was amazing. I recommend anybody going there. If you've already been, go back. It's just beautiful. But let's jump into it, man. The sports topics, let's do it because I've missed it. So with that being said, how long until Doc Rivers is put in the hot seat? Or better yet, how long until the league puts Doc Rivers into the hot seat? Because I've been saying this for some time now, that Doc Rivers, he's an okay coach, but he's not a great coach in this era. And I finally got some backup, so you don't have to just listen to me. I got backup with me this time who's been preaching the same thing as me for some time. And he's saying it here. But y'all remember Joe Johnson, right? Or Josh Smith. Josh Smith. He played with Joe Johnson. He played with the Atlanta Hawks with Joe Johnson and Jamal Crawford and Jeff Teague and Al Horford. He played during that era of the Atlanta Hawks. Now, Josh Smith has something to say about Doc Rivers, and it may be an old clip, but it resurfaced, so I'm going to use it to my advantage. And this is what he had to say. Let's do it.
Time, man. It's time for y'all to get on Doc Rivers' ass now. He ain't got past the second round since he had them boys, man. Kevin Garnett, Ray Allen, Paul Pierce, Rajon Rondo. He ain't got past the second round. Get on his ass. He in Philly now. Get on his ass.
Yes. So let's do it. Hey, Josh Smith, I'm going to take your word and I'm going to get on his ass. Let's do it because here's the breakdown of it. As you already heard, Josh Smith done told you he ain't got past the second round since 2013, and I fact-checked it. That is very, very true. With the Celtics, he has not been past the second round since he's left the Celtics. But it goes even deeper than that. Because not only did he didn't get past the second round, but Doc Rivers has also blown a 3-1 lead in the playoffs 3 times throughout his coaching career. On 3 different occasions, this man has blew a 3-1 lead in the NBA playoffs. First was with the Orlando Magic in 2003 against the Detroit Pistons. The second was the Clippers in 2015 against the Houston Rockets. The third was against the Clippers, or with the Clippers again in 2020 against the Denver Nuggets in the bubble. So he done blew all of these 3-1 leagues, and he still hasn't got past the second round. So, when I look at this and break this down, I'm thinking, well, what separates him from the Stan Van Gundy's and the Mark Jackson and all of these other coaches around the league, the Luke Waltons, Mike Browns? Like what really separates Doc Rivers from some of those guys? Ever since he's left the Celtics, I get it. Okay, yeah, he won a championship with the Celtics, but he had a damn super team. He had KG, Paul Pierce, Ray Allen, Rajon Rondo. His team was loaded and stacked with that team. But ever since then, we haven't seen any adjustments. So you're going to hold that one championship with the Celtics to a pedestal over all of these other people who've been doing things, who've been actually coaching and doing their job, taking these average teams to the playoffs and having somewhat type of success? No, we're not doing that here. But don't leave me. Check this out, because in 2013 with the Clippers, don't be like, okay, well, he probably didn't have a good team or nothing like that. No, his team was absolutely stacked. He was partnered with the magnificent Clippers team in 2013, 2014. Blake Griffin was there. Chris Paul, DeAndre Jordan, Jamal Crawford, Matt Barnes, Danny Granger, Antoine Jameson. This team was loaded. It was absolutely stacked. But he did not do anything in the playoffs. He's a regular season coach because they finished first seed a couple times. They finished second seed a couple times. But when the playoffs got there and things got real, what did he do? Second round exit. Boom, right out of there. Didn't go any further than that. not doing anything at all. And the list goes on because he's not making adjustments. Because even when you move forward with the Clippers, you get Paul George, Kawhi Leonard. They don't get past the second round. And his overall win percentage with the Clippers is still under 50% when you talk about the playoffs. He's a good regular season coach, but when it comes to the playoffs, he's not making adjustments. And we see the same thing here when he's playing with Philly, or when he's coaching with Philly, I should say, because even with Joel Embiid and Ben Simmons, they haven't got past the second round. Now you got Joel Embiid and James Harden. They haven't got past the second round. So, don't try and tell me that Doc Rivers is one of the top coaches in this era when all he's done was in the past the Celtics and he had a dream team doing it. But clearly that was a very valid excuse, because ever since he's left the Boston Celtics, nothing has happened. He hasn't even gotten remotely close to having any success in the playoffs. And that's a huge difference. But anyway, man, I could talk about that forever. So let's do it. With that being said, we got so much more coming on to the run. Donovan Mitchell, tier 1, tier 2 teams coming up. Stay on. We'll be right back. Now, just because you're busy doesn't mean you got to be stressed. I'm crazy busy right there with you. But it can be easier. Next time you're on a run, just make it more fun and listen to The Run with Manny Wilson.
Now tuned into the greatest.
The Run, the Manny Wilson podcast. The best sports podcast there is.
Yes, sir. Welcome back to The Run with me, Manny Wilson. Hey, man, look, for our second topic here, the toughest place to be in the NBA is a tier 2 team, meaning 1 is the best and 3 is the worst. And teams find themselves in this situation all the time, but this is where, you're good enough to make the playoffs, but you're not good enough to actually do anything while you're in the playoffs. So you do all this work in the regular season just to get put out second round, like your boy Doc Rivers I was just talking about. But if you haven't heard by now, the Utah Jazz, they will be parting ways with Donovan Mitchell, trying to trade him in packages. That's including Donovan Mitchell hoping to get something in return. Now, Donovan Mitchell cannot put himself in a situation that will land him right back to where he was in tier 2. And now he's under contract for 3 more years, so it's going to be tough, and he doesn't really have any leverage. So I think personally he's going to end up going to a team, having to stick it out with them for a little bit, and then maybe signing somewhere else and trading with free agency. But when you look at trades, it's tough. Because obviously Donovan Mitchell, he's that type of player. He can help a team. 3-time All-Star, led his team in scoring since his rookie year. Been helping the Utah Jazz, been literally pulling the Utah Jazz to the playoffs over these last few years. But when you're looking at trades, it's only so much a team can do when they're trading you to a different team, because now your organization has to get something in return. And they have to get something in return from a team that can give something up, but still be somewhat valuable and still have some sort of way to stay afloat after attaining a new asset. So if they get rid of everybody, they're not going to be able to do anything just by bringing you there. You're going to put yourself right back in that tier 2 situation. It would be extremely difficult for Donovan Mitchell to see a tier 1 team from this point in the league, because all of the tier 1 teams, when I talk about the Celtics and the Warriors, and obviously said that, well, I don't know about the Nets at this point because, it's so much going on over there. But you get what I mean. Even the 76ers, those teams don't have enough pieces to give up a whole lot just to get Donovan Mitchell in return and still be able to be dominant. That's the kind of thing you're looking at when you're facing these teams. Ultimately, can you give up something with still being able to stay afloat with what you're getting in return? That's the hard thing right there of what you're doing. But I don't know, man. I think Donovan Mitchell, he may find somewhere, but ultimately he's going to have to wait this contract out, because The Knicks conversations, that's just not doing it. The Knicks conversations is not doing it. He's putting himself right back in the same situation if he stays if he gets traded to the New York Knicks, and you don't have much say as a trade, so it's tough. He might just have to see it through, see those 3 years out that contract, and then free agency come, sign with the tier 1 team, and that'll be the big difference of the big change, the blockbuster deal, the blockbuster move that can potentially get Donovan Mitchell in winning status when you talk about that. Get a co-star. Get some role players with experience, guys that with the veteran experience. All of that stuff will ultimately help out. But anyway, man, no, that's all I got for you guys today. I greatly appreciate you hanging with me today. Be sure to follow me on Instagram at The Run Podcast. At I am Manny Wilson for my personal. If you want to check out some of those Croatia flicks or some of the things I was doing on vacation, go ahead, check out the personal page at I am Manny Wilson. But other than that, man, no, I greatly appreciate you. I hope you had a great day kicking it with me this morning or afternoon, wherever you may be listening to this or however you're listening to it. I greatly appreciate it. And with that being said, man, look, we will be back later on this week. And next week we got some guests. But later on this week, we will be back, and so on and so on and so on.